And one of the things that I noticed when I first got the knife that I wasn't expecting, because I had seen people in reviews use the lock before, it is only smooth if you don't apply pressure on both sides of the scales. So I'll show you. If I have my thumb and my middle finger pushing down on the scales, and then I pull the bar over, you can see it's not dropping. So you only get that smooth action when you really take the tension off of the scales, and then it drops shut. And just something to note, maybe you feel like, oh, it doesn't have the smooth action that they're saying. Maybe you just aren't using it correctly, but that does come into play if you're trying to close the knife with gloves on or something, and it's difficult to just drop shut. I don't think it's ever a problem, but you do have a lot less grip on the knife when you're just holding it by the liner and your thumb like that if you want it to drop shut. One of the nice things about Spyderco knives is with the thumb hole open, you've got a ton of different ways that you can open the knife. You've got a thumb flick. You can stick your thumb kind of in. It's weird compared to thumb studs because I usually like to use like the flesh of my thumb instead of the nail. But you can either like stick your thumb kind of in the hole or push with the meat of your thumb if you just give it a little more of a flick. And then you can also do the middle finger flick. Stick your middle finger through the hole and flick it. Oh, I just hit my other finger. There you go. Or you can do that with any of your other fingers. So here's a pointer. Oh crap. Here's a pointer finger flick. I'm gonna get it. There you go. You just kind of got to grab onto the clip. Ring finger flick. There you go. And a pinky flick. Oh, I almost got it. There you go. Yeah, all of those fingers. Or you can just push it open with your thumb, which brings in another point of something that could be improved about the knife. One of the problems is if your pointer finger is resting on it and then you go to open it with your thumb, just normally how you would, it grabs and kind of pinches your finger there. And I saw someone comment about that when I was looking at reviews, and I was like, what the heck are they talking about? Because I'd really only opened it just flicking it open because that's just more satisfying. But it is a thing. It will come over and pinch your finger. And sometimes you want to open it like that if you're trying to not draw attention to yourself, or you're opening it with gloves, which I guess with gloves it doesn't really matter because you're not going to like pinch yourself through the glove or anything. But that just is a thing. So yeah, so you've got all those ways to open it, which makes the thumb hole nice. But it does broaden the general profile of it a lot. Whereas if you just had a thumb stud there, it could be a lot thinner. But I guess the pro of that is that when you're cutting through something, stuff's not going to get caught on that hole like it would get caught on a thumb stud. So pros and cons of it, but overall I do like the Spyder hole. Next, I'll talk a little bit about the scales and the pocket clip. So these are they've been deemed the blurple, blue purple kind of G10 scales, and they come on the knives with S110V. I'm not a big fan of the color. If I wasn't thinking about reselling this knife, I would go ahead and dye them. They're just awkwardly between blue and purple. If they were blue, that would be cool. If they were purple, it'd be kind of edgy in a cool way, but they're like not quite purple. But they are really grippy. G10's a harder material than I expected just from how it looks online, I guess. So if you've never had a G10 knife, it is like if you try to squeeze it together there, I'm putting a good amount of force and it's barely flexing, and there's not even really any steel in that part. A lot of people said that the pocket clip here, when you slide it into your pants, it kind of tears up the hem of your pocket. So I did a hack that people commonly do. I sanded down underneath the clip a little bit so that it slides in easier. Not necessary, but might help a little bit. But overall, I'm happy with G10, and I haven't gotten to try out a lightweight version of any Spyderco knives yet, but I think it's worth the extra ounce. I think it's almost exactly an ounce more. This version weighs 3.4 ounces with the G10 and the steel liners. I think I would still take that just for the added strength and having phosphor bronze washers on either side of the blade. I don't know. It just seems like for long-term durability, I would prefer it, but I haven't tried the lightweight, so I don't know. I'll talk about the pocket clip for a minute. So it comes with a spoon clip, which I don't really have a problem with this clip, but as many people in reviews have noted, it sits so low when the lanyard tube is up at the top of the knife that it really, you have a lot of knife sticking out of your pocket when it's in your pants. And the problem that I had with this was not, I don't care if people see that I have a knife in my pocket, but it just didn't feel quite as secure since this is a shorter knife. You really have almost a third of it sticking out of your pocket with this clip on it. And so I went ahead and spent the $25 or whatever on the Lynch Northwest clip, which I like a lot. It's a loop over deep carry clip, which means that just a little bit of your knife is going to stick out of your pocket. And I think that's just a design thing. I would really like if they had a wire clip on this, just because I don't know, I like wire clips a lot because they slide onto your pants really easily. I have one on like my Milwaukee tape measure, and it's awesome. It does, I guess, come off more than a flat metal clip would, just because it doesn't grip quite as much with a tape measure, but a tape measure is like 4 times as heavy. So I would like a deep carry wire clip on here. Alright, so my overall take on the knife is I think it has great fit and finish, and everything is, all the small details are done really well. The lockup is super good. The blade has no play. The grind and the jimping, all the details like that are executed really well. The action is great. It came perfectly centered. It's not centered anymore perfectly. I'll need to tighten it up, but I haven't taken it apart yet. But overall, it's just a very well executed knife. Oh, I forgot to mention, it's made in Golden, Colorado, USA Earth, and the designer is it Sal or Eric Glesser? I think it's Sal. I think that's his mark. Don't quote me on that. One of the Glessers. For a knife that's made in the USA and made at this high quality, it's not all that unreasonable of a price, even when it does get up to around the $200 range. Finding a knife with this good steel and the rest of the materials not being skimped on, that's just what you're gonna expect to pay. I didn't mention, I guess I might add this in an earlier point, but it does have a 4-way reversible pocket clip, so you can put the pocket clip on you can orient it either tip up or tip down, and left hand or right hand carry. One of the things is for lefties, you can still use this knife, and I actually find it decent to close if you just push it with your thumb, you actually almost have more purchase on it like that than you do right-handed. Yeah, so if you're worried about buying the right-handed version as a lefty, like, oh, I might not like the compression lock, I actually still like it a lot. Sometimes I even close the knife with my thumb, sort of like you can close a back lock with your thumb. So if you hold your fingers, like your pointer finger here, and push with your thumb and let it close, the choil comes down on your finger without cutting it, obviously, because it's the choil, not the blade. And then you can move your fingers out of the way and close it. So, yeah, there are other ways that you can close the knife other than the typical like pointer finger and thumb drop. Yeah, so I would recommend for lefties. I don't really see that as an issue, although it would be nice, I guess, to have a left-handed version if you're a lefty. So one other thing about using the forward finger choil and the thumb ramp is I find the thumb ramp would be nice if you're trying to make a cut forward, like if you're pushing into something. I actually handed the knife to my boss and he was like, oh, this is kind of stabby. And the jimping is the direction that makes a push cut, makes your finger grip into it that way. And so it almost is better for a push cut than a pull cut. And I think that's why ergonomically it doesn't work as well for me, because the majority of cuts that I make, I'm trying to pull through something. So you kind of lose grip with your thumb coming through this way, as opposed to I can't even push it forward like that. Maybe that's why it's a paramilitary, because it's made for stabbing. And then also with that forward finger choil, the nice thing is you get your finger right up next to where the blade starts. So if you're cutting through something, you have a lot of control on that area of the blade, and it's not going to slip off the blade coming towards your finger because your finger's right there. But it can be annoying if you're holding it back here, then stuff can get caught a lot of times in that choil, and I don't know, that just can be annoying, especially if you hand it to people. They're like, why won't this cut? And it's like, because they have something hitting on the choil and it's not on the blade. And yeah, but overall, I'm a really big fan of Spyderco, and I want to get more Spyderco knives because of this knife. And I really like how much they think about the design of the knife, and just how much work goes into getting the details right from them. I would definitely recommend the brand, even though this particular variant, there are some things that make it not ideal for me. Yeah, so that's about all I've got on the Spyderco Pair 3 in the S110V version. Hope you guys enjoyed the review. Well, I think that's all I got for now, so thanks for watching. Don't mind me. I just oh my gosh, look at that. Got the double clip going, baby. Oh man, I'm way too entertained. Are the ergos good though? That's the question. Oh, what, dude? Oh my gosh, that actually feels great. Dude, your middle finger goes right in the spoon. Dude, that's actually really comfortable. That's hilarious. Alright, here we go with configuration number 2. You got business in the front and party in the back. It's just like a mullet. I need to find a knife that is 4-way reversible with a short pocket clip and do like a knife with 4 clips. It's like the ultimate ergos test. Goodbye.